All right, so um, we're going to dive into fast food today. You've sent over a ton of stuff about it, like articles, menus, even like some of your own notes. It seems like you're really thinking about how to, eat healthy when you're on the go.
Yeah. It's a challenge a lot of people face. I mean, sometimes convenience just wins out, right?
For sure. And everyone's got their guilty pleasures, right?
Absolutely.
But
Absolutely.
those cravings don't have to like completely derail your health goals, right?
Right, right.
Like there are ways to make smarter choices, even when you're just grabbing a quick bite.
Oh, totally. I think what's really important is understanding what's like really in your food, because sometimes those options that like sound healthy, they can be packed with all sorts of hidden calories and sodium and fat.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So, like, where do we even begin with this? Are there any fast food chains that are, like, actually trying to offer healthier options?
Yeah. There are a few places that are making a real effort. Panera Bread, for example, they get
Yeah.
a lot of attention for using fresh ingredients and avoiding those artificial trans fats,
Okay.
which, by the way, are basically created by adding hydrogen to vegetable oil, which makes it solid at room temp.
Oh, wow.
But they're linked to, some pretty serious health problems like heart disease.
Oh, I didn't realize they were that bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so Panera's ditching those, and they have a pretty good selection of salads and soups and sandwiches. You even highlighted their Mediterranean veggie sandwich on your notes,
Yeah.
and the strawberry poppy seed salad with chicken. Are those good picks?
Definitely. Those are solid choices. They're packed with veggies and lean protein and good fats.
Okay.
But even with the healthier items, like portion size can really sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Panera's portions tend to be pretty generous, so even a healthy choice can become less healthy if you overdo it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good reminder. I've definitely been like a victim of those like oversized portions before. It's almost like they want you to feel like stuffed.
Exactly. It's easy to forget about portion control when the food is right there in front of you.
Right.
And speaking of things to avoid, you definitely flagged the bacon mac and cheese bread bowl on one of those menus you sent.
Oh yeah, that one definitely caught my eye, but probably not for the right reasons. What makes that one so bad?
Well, for starters, it's got like over 1,000 calories,
Wow.
which is almost half of what, many adults need in a whole day.
But geez.
But it's not just the calories, it's also packed with saturated fat and refined carbs and sodium.
Okay, so that's like a triple whammy right there.
Mm.
What exactly is wrong with saturated fat though? Isn't fat like essential?
It is. We need fat for our bodies to function properly, but saturated fat, the kind you find in things like butter and fatty meats, it can raise your LDL cholesterol, which is the bad cholesterol, and that can increase your risk of heart disease and stroke over time.
Ah, okay. So it's about like choosing the right kinds of fats.
Yeah.
So, while Panera has some decent choices, it's important to be mindful of those like sneaky traps, like with all the calories and fat.
Right. Exactly. Now let's move on to another chain that's doing a pretty good job in the healthy-ish department, Chipotle.
Oh, Chipotle. I love their like customizable options of
Yeah.
like you're building your own like healthy masterpiece,
Right.
starting with lean protein and fresh salsas.
That customization is key. If you're smart about it, you can create a really balanced and nutritious meal. I'm talking like brown rice, black beans, fajita veggies, and all the salsa you want.
Mm. But what about the guac? Isn't that like pretty high in
It
calories?
is,
Yeah.
but it's also full of healthy fats and fiber and nutrients. So the key is, moderation.
Right.
Like a small scoop can add a lot of flavor and creaminess without, totally derailing your healthy choices.
That makes sense. So it's not about like depriving yourself. It's just about making informed choices. Kind of like with Panera, you can enjoy those delicious flavors while still, being mindful of portion size and ingredient choices.
Right. And speaking of customization, Subway is another option that comes to mind.
Yeah.
They've built their entire brand around building your own sandwich with choices like whole grain bread and tons of fresh veggies.
Yeah, Subway seems like a healthy option, on the surface, but um, I remember reading in one of these articles that you have to be careful with their sauces and meats, right?
That's right. Some of their sauces can be surprisingly high in sodium and fat, and some of the meats are high in saturated fat.
Okay.
It's a perfect example of how even like seemingly healthy choices can have hidden downsides. You really gotta pay attention to the details.
So if you're Navigating the Subway menu. What are some good picks? I know you marked the 6-inch oven-roasted turkey on whole grain bread loaded with veggies as a winner.
Absolutely. That's a great choice. And if you're looking for a vegetarian option, their Veggie Delete is a solid pick. It's packed with fresh veggies and fiber, which, by the way, can help keep you feeling full and satisfied.
Fiber. That's a good point. One of these articles mentioned that fiber is like really important for digestion and overall health, but I don't think I fully understand why.
Fiber is basically a type of carbohydrate that your body can't digest, and it helps regulate your digestion and lower cholesterol levels, and even control blood sugar levels. It also adds bulk to your meals, which helps you feel fuller longer. So it's a great tool for weight management.
So that's why I always feel so much more satisfied after a meal with lots of veggies.
Exactly. And those foot-long sandwiches piled high with like fatty meats and cheeses, probably best to avoid those.
Oh.
Especially the chicken and bacon ranch melt.
Hmm.
That one is a calorie and fat overload, and not in a good way.
Okay. So we've covered some of the quote unquote healthier fast food options,
Hmm.
but I know you also flag some chains that are, well, not so healthy. I'm guessing Five Guys is on that list.
I'm a sucker for their burgers and fries, but I have a feeling they're not doing my waistline any favors.
You're not wrong. Those juicy burgers and crispy fries come at a cost. Five Guys is known for large portions, high calories, saturated fat, and sodium. We can take a closer look at those next.
Sounds good. Let's take a break there. We'll be back in a moment to unpack the not so healthy side of the fast food world. All right, so we talked about some fast food spots trying to be a little healthier, but I think we got to be honest. Sometimes those not so healthy places just, call our names. I know you had some info flagged about Five Guys. What makes them a nutritional minefield? Well, as delicious as their burgers and fries are, they tend to be heavy hitters when it comes to calories, saturated fat, and sodium. For example, you had the cheeseburger circled on one of the Five Guys menus you sent. A single cheeseburger can have almost 1,000 calories, and a large order of fries clocks in at over 900.
Whoa, that's more calories than some people eat in an entire day.
Mhm.
It makes you wonder, what exactly are we getting for all those calories? Are there any like redeeming qualities in those burgers and fries, or is it just a straight up indulgence?
It's mostly an indulgence for sure. While Five Guys does use fresh, never frozen beef, and their fries are made from whole potatoes, cooked in peanut oil, those positives are kind of overshadowed by the sheer volume of calories and fat. Peanut oil is a healthier oil overall, but even healthy fats in excess can lead to weight gain and other health issues.
So if someone's, watching their weight or trying to eat healthier, Five Guys is an early death save for a special occasion, right?
Exactly. It's all about balance.
Mhm.
Now, you also had some notes about Burger King. I'm sensing a theme here. Are you a big burger fan?
Maybe just a little bit. But I'm trying to be more mindful of my choices these days, so I'm curious to hear what you have to say about Burger King.
Well, like many fast food chains, they've got a wide range of options, but some are definitely more heart healthy than others. You highlighted their triple Whopper with cheese, and for good reason. The thing's a monster. It
Wow.
packs over 1,200 calories, 82 grams of fat, and a staggering 4,470 milligrams of sodium.
That's more sodium than I probably eat in 2 days. I remember seeing something in one of these articles about how too much sodium is bad for you, but I'm a little fuzzy on the details. Can you remind me what the big deal is with sodium?
Sure thing. Sodium is an essential mineral that our bodies need to function properly, but most of us eat way more than we need. Excess sodium can lead to high blood pressure, which is a major risk factor for heart disease and stroke. It can also contribute to water retention and bloating.
Okay, that's definitely not what I'm going for. So if I'm craving Burger King, I'm better off going for a smaller burger or maybe even one of their chicken sandwiches.
That's a smart strategy. They do have some grilled chicken options that are lower in calories and fat compared to those massive burgers. And speaking of making healthier choices, we haven't talked about drinks yet. What do you usually reach for when you're at a fast food place?
Honestly, I usually just go for whatever soda they have on tap, but I know that's not the best choice.
Soda is definitely one of the worst things you can drink calorie-wise. It's basically just sugar and water with no nutritional value whatsoever. Those empty calories can contribute to weight gain, tooth decay, and a whole host of other health problems.
Okay, so soda's out. What about something like iced tea? That a better option?
Unsweetened iced tea is a much better choice. It has virtually no calories and can be a really refreshing alternative to sugary drinks. Just be careful about those pre-sweetened teas. They can be just as bad as soda in terms of sugar content.
Good point. I'll definitely have to check the labels more carefully. I guess this whole deep dive is really about paying attention to those details.
Exactly. It's about becoming an informed consumer. Now, let's wrap up our exploration of the less healthy fast food options with a look at Panda Express. You had some of their dishes highlighted, and I'm guessing you're not a big fan of their nutritional profile.
Let's just say Panda Express is more of a guilty pleasure for me. It's tasty, but I have a feeling it's not doing my health any favors.
You're right about that. While they do offer some vegetable-based dishes, many of their popular entrees are high in calories, sodium, sugar, and fat.
Like the orange chicken and Beijing beef I had circled on the menu.
Yes, those are two prime examples. A single serving of orange chicken has almost 500 calories and over 800 milligrams of sodium, and Beijing beef isn't much better with almost as many calories and a hefty dose of sodium as well.
So what's the deal with all the sugar in these dishes? I get that they're supposed to be sweet, but is that really necessary?
It's not just about the sweetness. A lot of Americanized Chinese food relies heavily on sauces that are loaded with sugar, salt, and unhealthy fats. These ingredients contribute to the flavor and texture, but they also contribute to the high calorie and sodium counts.
So if you're watching your intake of those things, Panda Express is probably best enjoyed in moderation, just like Five Guys and Burger King. It seems like a lot of these less healthy options have similar nutritional pitfalls: high calories, fat, and sodium.
You've hit the nail on the head, but the good news is that there are ways to navigate these menus and make healthier choices, even at places that, aren't known for being particularly healthy. Let's
Yeah.
move on to those strategies next.
Sounds good. I'm ready to hear some tips for making smarter choices no matter where I end up grabbing a bite.
Hmm.
So we've explored some of the healthier and not so healthy fast food options out there. What I'm taking away from all this is that uh, knowledge is power, right? Like just knowing what to look for and what to maybe avoid can make a big difference.
Absolutely. It's not about, being perfect or avoiding fast food altogether. It's about making informed choices that align with your health goals.
So let's talk strategy. What are some like practical tips for navigating those fast food menus and making those healthier choices, even when you're faced with temptation?
Well, first and foremost, remember the power of customization. Don't be afraid to ask for like modifications or substitutions. You can swap out fried chicken for grilled,
Uh-huh.
ditch the cheese, or ask for extra veggies. Most fast food places are happy to accommodate those kinds of requests.
That's a good point. I used to think I was kind of stuck with whatever was on the menu, but now I realize I have more control than I thought I did.
Exactly. And speaking of control, portion control is another key strategy. Sometimes those combo meals or value menus can be super tempting, but they often come with way more food than you actually need.
I know I've definitely been guilty of overeating just because the food was like right there in front of me. It's like I have to finish everything on my plate, even if I'm already full.
I get it, but remember, you don't have to eat everything you're served. Consider ordering a smaller size, or sharing a meal with a friend, or even just boxing up half your meal to take home for later.
Those are all great ideas. I
Yeah.
also remember reading something about being mindful of add-ons. Can you elaborate on that a little?
Of course, those sneaky extras like high calorie sauces and dressings and toppings can really quickly turn a healthy meal into a not so healthy one. Opt for later condiments like mustard or vinegar or salsa, and go easy on the cheese and bacon.
It's amazing how quickly those little things can add up. Speaking of things that can add up, we can't forget about drinks. We talked about how soda's a bad choice, but what are some healthier alternatives?
Water is always the best choice. It's calorie-free, hydrate, and refreshing. But if you're craving something with a little more flavor, unsweetened iced tea or coffee are good options. Just be sure to skip the added sugar and cream.
Okay, so we've covered customization, portion control, add-ons, and drinks. Any other final tips to help us navigate the fast food world without, totally derailing our health goals?
One final thought.
Yeah.
Don't beat yourself up if you slip up every now and then. We're all human, and sometimes those cravings just win. The key is to make healthy choices most of the time, and to enjoy those occasional indulgences mindfully.
That's such an important reminder. It's about progress, not perfection.
Right. Exactly. And remember, healthy eating doesn't have to be restrictive or boring. It's about finding a balance that works for you and allows you to enjoy all kinds of foods, including fast food, in a way that supports your overall well-being.
Well said. This has been a really informative deep dive into the world of fast food and health. I feel like I have a much better understanding of how to make smarter choices, even when I'm on the go.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to making healthy choices.
And with that, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder. What are your go-to fast food hacks or strategies for staying healthy on the go? We'd love to hear your tips and tricks.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, eat well and be well.